the world of football, three clubs have been making headlines for their meteoric rise and the seemingly unlimited financial resources fueling their ambitions. Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain and Newcastle United have all experienced significant transformations in recent years, driven by the deep-pocketed owners behind these clubs. Join us as we explore how their unprecedented financial backing is reshaping the football landscape and challenging the traditions of the sport. In recent years, Arab money has been pouring into European football, and it's been quite a game changer for these clubs. Now let's rewind the clock to 2008, a time when Manchester City was far from a football powerhouse. They hadn't tasted major success since way back in 1976. Instead, they had a rough journey, bouncing around mid-table and even getting relegated to the third tier of English football in 1998. It was a rollercoaster to say the least. But in 2008, Sheikh Mansoor, the Deputy Prime Minister of the UAE and a billionaire, decided to splash £200 million and bought Manchester City from Thaksin Shinawatra. With Mansoor's cash infusion, City got a facelift. They signed some big names like Robinho, Tevez, Adebayor, Yaya Toure, David Silva, Balotelli and Sergio Aguero for a whopping £195 million. The team was basically rebuilt from scratch, and in just 3 years they clinched the FA Cup in 2011, ending their trophy drought of nearly 30 years. The next year they bagged their first ever English Premier League title in 2012 in dramatic style, and followed it up with another in 2014.
4 years of waiting now over. Manchester City are the winners of the Barclays Premier League. From 8 points behind United just over a month ago to lead the table going into the final day of the season. And it is one of the greatest comebacks in English footballing history.
But the real golden years came in 2016 when Pep Guardiola took charge. The owners dug deep into their pockets, investing nearly £2 billion in infrastructure and world-class players like Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, John Stones, Leroy Sané, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Rodri and even recent purchases like Ruben Dias, Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland. For the 2017-2018 season, Manchester City spent more on their defence than the national defence of 52 countries. The result? Dominance, both domestically and in Europe. They secured numerous league titles and cups, culminating in a historic treble in 2023. Much like Manchester City, PSG's fortunes dramatically shifted in 2011. Before that, PSG showed promise in the 1990s, winning multiple national trophies. However, with the start of the new century, they encountered a rough patch, largely due to poor management. Then in 2011, the game changed completely when Nasser Al-Khelaifi, Qatari billionaire and chairman of Qatar Sports Investment, stepped in paying €50 million for an initial 70% stake, followed by €30 million for the remaining 30% stake in 2012. This move instantly made PSG not just the richest club in France, but one of the wealthiest on the planet. With the new owners came a spending spree. Over the next few years, the owners poured in millions, bringing in big-name players like Ibrahimovic, Thiago Silva and Cavani. They also made a jaw-dropping move by signing David Luiz in 2014 for a staggering £50 million, setting a world record fee for a defender then. The result? PSG clinched 3 consecutive League One titles from 2013 to 2015. But the real shocker came in 2018 when PSG shattered the transfer record, signing Neymar for €222 million and later securing Kylian Mbappe for €180 million plus add-ons. In 2021, they did the unthinkable and signed Lionel Messi on a 2-year deal that paid him €30 million per season. With this kind of immense financial power, PSG dominated domestic competitions, leading to criticism of the top tier of French football as a one-sided contest. Before their takeover in 2011, PSG had only 2 league titles to their name. Fast forward to today, and they're sitting pretty at 11. And speaking of transformations, let's talk about Newcastle United. After 14 years of frustration under Mike Ashley's ownership, in October 2021, Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, PIF, took control of 80% of the club for €400 million, instantly making Newcastle the world's richest club. But the takeover wasn't a smooth ride. It was one of the longest and most controversial in English football history. The controversy stemmed from the Saudi Arabian fund's involvement, which many criticised as a form of improving Saudi's image through sports, raised concerns by several human rights groups, claiming restrictions on freedom of speech and a lack of political freedoms in the country. Nevertheless, the primary goal was evident: to transform Newcastle into a global football giant with the financial backing of the Gulf states' oil wealth. Since the PIF's purchase, Newcastle has shown they're not afraid to open their wallet. They've made big money moves, bringing in big-name players like Alexander Isak, Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, to name just a few. In fact, other than the free-spending Chelsea, Newcastle United's net spending of €389 million is higher than any other Premier League club since their takeover in October 2021. This resulted in a significant transformation, evidenced by their return to the Champions League in 2023, their first appearance in 20 years. It's a sign of what's to come in the future. And just like City and PSG, Newcastle's remarkable progression is clear for everyone to see. Now, City's dominance in English football isn't luck. It's the result of careful planning and ambition. Winning 5 Premier League titles in 6 years is nothing short of exceptional, reminiscent of Manchester United's grip on the title from 1996 to 2001. Like United, City invested off the pitch, expanding their stadium, nurturing youth talent and building a global brand through smart business decisions. They crafted a strategic plan, bringing in top minds, players and a top-notch coach. Thanks to their owners, City is now the best-run club in the world's most competitive league. Similarly, Newcastle United, armed with newfound resources, has the potential to shake things up too, but they've got quite a gap to close with City. That said, the influence of money in football is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's driven a lot of positive changes in the beautiful game, but on the flip side, it's caused some issues, especially for the traditional European clubs. The influx of cash has tilted the competitive balance within leagues, favouring PSG, Manchester City and Newcastle. These state-owned clubs enjoy a financial edge that many other clubs can only envy, resulting in a growing disparity between the wealthy and less affluent teams. This financial influence has significantly altered the transfer market. What was once considered an exorbitant fee, exemplified by the £100 million price tag for world's best players like Cristiano Ronaldo a decade ago, is now the standard rate for players like Jack Grealish, Declan Rice and Caicedo. This financial transformation extends beyond transfer fees, with player salaries and agent commissions also soaring, thereby making football's financial landscape a whole new ballgame. While money in football has raised concerns, it has also ushered in notable benefits. Global exposure and infrastructure investment has seen remarkable expansion, especially for PSG and City. Their strategic branding and social media-driven global outreach have elevated them into not only football giants, but some of the world's most influential sports teams. For instance, PSG has become a lifestyle brand benchmark in sports, forging exclusive partnerships such as the iconic Jumpman collaboration with Jordan. This distinctive brand identity has attracted premium international partners and fans, significantly boosting the club's value. Today, both PSG and Man City command huge social media followings among professional sports teams, translating into increased revenue. From a financial perspective, both PSG and City have experienced remarkable growth since their respective takeovers. Let's look at Manchester City. When the Abu Dhabi United Group acquired them in 2008, their revenues were a mere €104 million. Fast forward to 2023, and that figure has skyrocketed to a staggering €731 million, marking a jaw-dropping 602% increase. Similarly, PSG has seen a substantial evolution in revenues under its new ownership. In 2011, when the takeover happened, revenues were €101 million. By 2022, those numbers had reached €654 million, marking a remarkable 547% increase. The financial infusion into clubs like PSG, Manchester City and Newcastle United has undeniably boosted local economies, creating jobs and enhancing infrastructure. Yet it's also led to rising living costs, especially in cities like Paris and Manchester, and a similar transformation is underway in Newcastle. Regarding the views of fans, things look pretty good for supporters of these clubs. For Newcastle fans, the excitement stems from the positive track record of City and PSG. However, neutrals who aren't fans of these clubs often experience a mix of jealousy and frustration, particularly if their own teams are struggling. A case in point is Manchester United, whose fans are watching closely, hoping for a Qatari takeover, similar to the one that almost materialised in 2023. They seek a more level playing field, illustrating the varying sentiments surrounding football's evolving power dynamics. That said, the influx of money into European football has dramatically altered the landscape, overshadowing traditional clubs with rich histories. Financial giants like Manchester City, PSG and Newcastle have compounded the issue by circumventing financial fair play (FFP) regulations, allowing them to make massive player bids and offer astronomical wages. The rise of these wealthy clubs has driven wages and transfer fees to unprecedented heights, forcing other clubs to overspend to maintain competitiveness. However, both Manchester City and PSG have faced investigations and substantial fines for their alleged violations of UEFA's FFP rules, to the extent where UEFA banned Manchester City from the Champions League in 2020, which led to City appealing the decision, a case which they eventually won. To address these challenges and preserve the essence of the game, there is an urgent need for more robust and stringent regulations by the governing bodies. Without such measures, clubs rich in tradition and history may slowly fade into irrelevance, leaving the football world forever changed. That said, the rise of clubs like Manchester City, PSG and Newcastle United is undeniably changing football. They've brought both positives and challenges to the sport. However, it's crucial for governing bodies to step in and ensure fair play, preserving the competitive spirit of the game for fans to enjoy the beautiful game. We hope you enjoyed this video and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your comments below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to SportsBiz Insights for more exciting content about the business side of sports. Thanks for watching.